Welcome to another episode of Frightful Halloween. Today, we have something so scary, it'll make you cry. Alien 3.
You've got to come back with me!
First, let's get into the background. The franchise of Alien has 6 movies in it, me only having 4 of them. They also had a couple other things, like a line of books dedicated to them, and also a couple spin-off books that are pretty interesting, but not a lot to mention about them, and mostly Predator related. Then there was also the comic book series, which I also don't have. And then there are the games, like this Atari version that I have here, but I can't record the gameplay of it because I don't have the adapter to connect it to my TV. And then you also have the plethora of games like the Alien 3 arcade shooter, Alien Trilogy, which I don't have, even more modern ones like Colonial Marines and Alien Isolation, which I'm not talking about here. There's also the plethora of Alien vs. Predator games, but we're not going to talk about those. Then we have the Super Nintendo version here. Now, I'm going to be quiet for a second so you can just witness this intro. After that relatively creepy intro, you get into the game, which the game itself centers around these consoles that give you different quests that you have to do throughout the game. It shows you what the quest is, where to go, and everything that you have to do in pretty slow crawling text. But it at least shows you where you need to go in this, because you can get lost pretty easily because it is not the easiest game to navigate. So you kind of have to keep checking the consoles to know where to go. You get lost otherwise. Then you get to the combat, which you get to use the flamethrowers, the pulse rifles, grenade launchers. But the areas that's hardest to be in are actually these pipes, because you are literally stuck with facehuggers everywhere. I recommend the flamethrower going through here very heavily. After you get through there, you go into each section to do the mission, which the combat is just the same. Running around, shooting everything in your path. Again, flamethrower being one of the better weapons, because it covers everything in front of you. But the pulse rifle and grenade are pretty helpful in general, with pretty accurate sound effects and look. Even though the movie had none of these weapons going on in it, nor were this many aliens, because there's only one alien in Alien 3. Which, by the way, the movie was the bastard child of the franchise. So, but the missions include things like saving the prisoners, like you saw right there, as well as doing other things like defusing bombs. Now, when it comes to the doors, you have to bend down and then stand back up to open them when you're in these sections. And it is not entertaining. Now, the map is large for the most part, and each section not only is labeled, but if you go inside each one of these sections, there are subsections that lead to other places. So, again, it's very important to go to the terminals when you go to the missions so you know exactly where to go. Otherwise, you're going to get lost, or you're going to end up in the wrong area, and you're going to end up pretty much having to backtrack everywhere, because each subsection is relatively large, and then you got further subsection past it, so it can really affect everything. And not every section has a subsection, but the ones that do usually lead to another one that leads back to the main hall. So you don't have to worry too much, but you will get lost relatively quickly. Relatively quickly. Now, the missions usually put the objectives in tough to get places. Like this prisoner here had the eggs right next to it, which take too many shots to destroy, and you can only shoot them when they're open. So you can end up taking a lot of damage if you don't take them out fast enough. And then you have the repairing things like here, where you have to repair, and every time you get off of it, it stops the repair. So things will corner you until you die. And once you die once, you get instant game over. But you get this amazing xenomorph screen that looks like it belongs in the movie, not in a Super Nintendo game. Now let's talk about the Genesis version. The Genesis version, watch this intro. I'm just gonna be quiet for this intro too. So, as you can tell, the music and the atmosphere isn't the same in that intro. But you do get lives in this one, which is where the problem begins. Because you have to go through in a time limit and rescue as many people as you can. You have each level has a certain amount that you have to rescue, and all you have to do is run up to them and rescue them. Now, these ladders are a pain, but we'll deal with that in a second. We have to talk about the enemies. Everywhere you go, they will hit you and down you, making so you can't hurt them, and they're faster than you. So when you go into sections like that, with the subsections of the climbing through, it's hard to get around because not only are you navigating the ladders, but you have this maze-like state where you have to figure out how to get to the different survivors to save them. Now, if you find the exit, it won't open until you rescue all of the people that are trapped. And you can be attacking things, but you will not be able to get away from it. And when you're down, it's crazy. But now, those ladders. You'll fiddle around with that a little bit, and you can occasionally get it, but other times, like here, I will just kind of give up. Because there's no way for me to get into it. I try every way I can, but I just gave up because it wasn't worth it for the ammo for me. Now, after you rescue all of them, you get to the exit. And this is the first level, mind you. And you still have that time limit after you rescue everybody. But once you get out that exit, it immediately throws you into a status screen, which tells you how you did for everything. And then after you get done with that status screen, you get to go into the next level with another loading thing with the xenomorph sitting there drooling, which does look very nice. But the second level, the second you spawn in, you get hit. Let's say that in slow mo, full speed, instant. Like you have to know they're there before you die. And speaking of that, when you finally do die and get enough deaths, you get a game over. No continues, no continue code, just game over. I give the Super Nintendo version 3 potatoes because it is playable and it does have something to go back to, even with its issues. And then the Sega Genesis version, 1 potato because it is beyond terrifyingly bad. It makes me cry just thinking about it. It's so bad. Anyway, thanks for coming out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Throwback Thursday, frightful Halloween edition. prepare for another one next week. And remember, always follow your dreams. Peace. Peace. Ow.
Hey guys, if you guys like the video, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mother, tell your cat, tell your dog. If you have like a chinchilla, tell your chinchilla. I don't know. Just let me know. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.